I am tracking a strong thunderstorm that's moving through Butler County. It's on top of Hamilton right now, but our storm tracking cone does bring it into the Miami Valley within the next 20 minutes. I have a white t-shirt here and a bucket of water. I want to see how fast it takes this shirt to freeze, and I'm going to hang it here on the tree. But we got this shirt wet, and it's solid, like a plywood board. I remember when I first started watching baseball, before I understood the rules, I remember one time I was watching the game with my mom, and Jim Thome got out, like baseball players do all the time, and I was like, well, when does he come back? and I didn't understand that getting out is normal.
It's normal.
If you look to the left of your screen, you'll see a disabled vehicle, and the State Highway Patrol just responding to this disabled vehicle. Right over here, a cinder block wall completely demolished and taken out from this tornado that, according to the Weather Service, has had 120-mile-per-hour maximum wind. Have you wondered what the park's plan is to keep you safe from severe weather? I'm here today to find out.
We have a bunch of weather geeks here, myself included, folks that are just really in tune with what's going on in the environment.
Doug Kramer is Kings Island's Director of Safety and Security. For nearly 3 decades, it's been his job to make sure each ride is working only under the right weather conditions. I'm going to use an infrared thermometer, and what we can do is point this at the pavement to get an idea of what the pavement temperature is right now. So I'm shooting the little laser beam down there. The pavement out here at Byers Road is 21 degrees, and the air temperature around me is near 30. So it looks like that food coloring is just raining right through the clouds. So that teaches the kids about saturation and how when the clouds get saturated, then you have rain. Now this is our convection right here. We can see all of that cold food coloring going down and the warm food coloring staying above it. So what's happening here is you have the warm air lifting above the cold air. That's creating a thunderstorm. No coat needed where I am. I am at Ohio Caverns in West Liberty this morning, and it is an amazing sight to see. You can see all the stalactites and stalagmites. I am actually in one of the stronger thunderstorms, or just outside of one of the stronger thunderstorms in the Miami Valley right now. It's in southern Preble County, so if you're in Camden, oh, you just saw it right there, a big lightning strike. That indicates that this storm has strengthened. At this point, around 11:15, the storm cycled. So it lifted off the ground near Riverside briefly and then dropped another debris ball right there quickly. EF3 damage in Beaver Creek before moving toward US 68 and dissipating, and then dropping 2 more tornadoes. And we'll talk about those 2 tornadoes in just a second. But that first tornado, the most intense, the EF4, had a 19-mile path starting in Brookville right here, stretching through Harrison Township and Trotwood, through Old North Dayton, and then dissipating initially near Riverside. But I want to show you where the worst damage was. This is along the Stillwater River and Riverside Drive in Harrison Township, ending right at North Dixie. So that is where the EF4 damage is. Folks ready to help, and I want to show you guys how far along this neighborhood has come in 1 week. Yes, this house is currently being demolished. Construction crews out here right now, but if you look at the grass elsewhere in some of the other damaged properties, the grass all cleaned up, the trees are cut down. Just issued a tornado warning for Jay County, Indiana. So if you're in Mercer County or Darke County, be prepared to go to your safe spot. Inside a large tornado, an EF3 tornado like what impacted Beaver Creek and in Montgomery County, you have smaller tornadoes. So the parent tornado that's 3/4 of a mile wide is this, but inside it you have much smaller tornadoes twisting with the even higher wind. So that's where you're getting that 160, 170 mile per hour wind. It's in those suction vortices, or those mini tornadoes inside the larger tornado. And where this was first really studied and discovered was way back on April 3rd, 1974, right in Xenia. Here's the video shot by Bruce Boyd, a 16-year-old Xenia high school student at the time. And if you look right here, you can see that mini tornado inside the larger tornado. One there, and then one on the edge of the video right there. Those are the suction vortices, and those are what did the most damage in Xenia back in 1974. It developed in Montgomery County just before 3 o'clock, and here it is at 3 o'clock yesterday when it was just about to become tornado warned in Clark County. Here's 3:15 p.m. There's the tornado warning. We can see the hook on this cell right as it's dropping that EF0 tornado just northwest of Springfield, then moving into portions portions of Champaign County, still with that signature hook echo on the radar, and this is at 3:35 p.m. Then 90 miles away in almost just over an hour, that storm makes a haul through Marion, Ohio, toward Shelby, which is in northern Richland County, north of Mansfield, about 5 miles north of the OSU Mansfield campus there. And this is where it did the EF2 damage. We can see that hook shrouded in rain right there. This is at 4:40 p.m. yesterday, but it wasn't done yet. Then a tornado warning issued for Lorain County. That's in between Sandusky and Cleveland. And then still as a strong thunderstorm over the western suburbs of Cleveland at 5:45, which was 3 hours later from when it first developed right over downtown Dayton. If you've ever been to the Boonshoff Museum of Discovery on Groundhog Day, it's Hedgehog Day, or at least it has been the past 3 years. This is Quilliam the Hedgehog. Here he is coming out of his burrow this morning. But what did he say here for the Miami Valley? Are we going to get 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring? Well, here's the result. He did not see his shadow either. So we're looking at an early spring here in the Miami Valley, and Buckeye Chuck up in Marion, Ohio, also predicting an early spring. So we have 3 out of 3 in our favor if you're looking for some mild temperatures. And I do have that in the forecast. But before we get there, dense fog that will start to develop in some communities tonight. And then the February thaw continues before rounds of rain. Those will be our weather makers this week, not snow. For the first full week of February. Here's a live look in downtown Troy at the traffic circle. And while I'm not seeing any fog here, I did get some Facebook comments that we do have some pockets of fog developing up in Miami County already tonight. So something to keep in mind. Here's a live look outside in Beaver Creek. No fog yet either, but again, it's going to be very patchy and continue to develop overnight. 35 degrees right now, just a nice, easy southeasterly breeze. The wind chill not much of a factor for us. Finally, not a problem. Heading into Sunday morning, according to our Skycast, we are keeping that fog layer around and the temperature is staying relatively steady. 37 degrees above freezing at 7 a.m. But if you're heading out for work and church, keep that in mind that you might run into some fog in some areas. But by noon, it should be gone, unlike today where it took a little bit longer for that fog to work out of here. Then the wind kicking up south 10 miles per hour means we're really going to crank up the temperatures tomorrow. Here's 1 p.m. out at Riverscape Metro Park. They're open from 1 to 5 for ice skating tomorrow despite the mild air. 50 at 1 p.m., 52 at 3 p.m., and then 51 at 5 o'clock. And by the way, tomorrow night's sunset at 5:58. We're creeping closer and closer to 6 p.m. and later. But speaking of Sunday evening, after 6 o'clock, temperatures will stay mild, right around 40 degrees. 9 p.m. we're still in the same ballpark as we will be Monday morning at 7 a.m. as kids finally head back to school after being off for about 5 days due to the Arctic blast. Here's noon, already up into the 50s on Monday, but we are mostly cloudy. And then 3 to 6 p.m., that's when our next weather maker arrives, bringing that potential for a few scattered showers. That's about it. Mid-50s throughout the day, and we're going to be staying very mild heading into Tuesday. A little bit cooler, though, on Tuesday, 45 degrees. By the way, Tuesday will be the first day that we have a sunset later than 6 p.m. 50 on Wednesday with a few light showers throughout the day, but Thursday we're going to have even more rain and even some wind and the potential for a rumble of thunder or two in the evening. Here's Thursday evening. We're seeing some yellows and oranges mixing in as a cold front passes. That's when we could hear a rumble of thunder, but maybe even a few flurries by Friday morning. But right now, the winter weather side not looking too bad.